The manila folder hit the judge's desk like a bomb. $30,000, Aunt Catherine announced. My itemized invoice for 8 years of raising my sister's orphan. Every head in that courtroom turned. Catherine stood there in her discount designer jacket, the one she'd bought with my college fund, radiating the same energy she brought to every family gathering where she'd won through sheer audacity. Judge Coleman adjusted his glasses, scanning her bill. Emotional labor at $50 per day. Birthday cake expenses at $200 per cake. Lost opportunities at $5,000 per year. His expression shifted to something I'd never seen in 3 years of law school. Mrs. Harrison. His voice dropped low. Perhaps you could explain why this invoice doesn't mention the $280,000 in Social Security survivor benefits you collected in Amelia's name. The courtroom exploded. Catherine's lawyer frantically shuffled papers. My cousins, who'd come to support their mother's righteous cause, started whispering. Catherine's face drained of color faster than water through sand. That's different, she stammered. Those benefits were for her care, which you're now billing her for. Judge Coleman's eyebrow arched dangerously. You received federal funds for her support, and now you want her to pay you again for the same expenses. I touched my lawyer Elena Reeves's arm. Our signal. Elena stood smooth as aged whiskey. Your Honor, we'd like to present our counter-evidence regarding the actual distribution of those funds. Catherine's face went from pale to crimson. This is ridiculous. I raised that ungrateful girl for 8 years. 8 years of sacrifice. Sacrifice. That word tasted like copper pennies in my mouth. The same word she'd used when locking me in my room for asking about Mom. The same word she'd spat when I'd begged to see pictures of my parents. The same word that decorated every guilt trip, every manipulation, every reminder that I was a burden she'd graciously chosen to bear. We'll proceed in order. Judge Coleman raised his hand. Mrs. Harrison, explain your invoice. Catherine straightened her jacket. After my sister died, I took in Amelia out of the goodness of my heart. No one else would. Her father was already gone, and I had 3 children of my own. Every penny represents a sacrifice my family made. Let's go line by line. The judge's eyes held something dangerous. Food, $8,000. Did you not claim Amelia as a dependent for 8 years? Well, yes, but... And received the child tax credit. That barely covered. Plus food stamps for a family of 5. Catherine's lawyer touched her arm. She shrugged him off. Your Honor, those programs don't cover the full cost. Which is why Social Security provided survivor benefits. Judge Coleman lifted the records. $2,917 per month. That's $35,004 per year. 8 years. $280,032 total. I had expenses. Do you know how much teenagers cost? Clothes, school supplies, activities. Activities. My voice cut through the noise. First time I'd spoken. What activities, Aunt Catherine? Elena touched my hand in warning, but Judge Coleman nodded. The plaintiff may speak. I stood slowly. 18 years of silence cracking open. I wasn't allowed to join any school activities. Too expensive, you said. I wore your daughter Megan's hand-me-downs, even though the benefit checks allocated $400 monthly for clothing. I ate different meals than your family, rice and beans while you had steak. Should I continue? You ungrateful, Catherine started. Her lawyer grabbed her arm. Miss Martinez, the judge said gently, do you have evidence? Elena handed him a thick folder. Photos, Your Honor. School records showing Amelia was denied field trip permission slips due to lack of payment. Teacher statements who provided her lunch money. Medical records showing malnutrition. And this. She produced my old leather journal. Amelia's diary from ages 10 through 15, documenting the allocation of her survivor benefits. That diary, hidden under a loose floorboard, written in code Catherine never bothered to crack. Every dollar she spent on herself while telling me I should be grateful for scraps. Every Christmas where my gift was being allowed to eat with the family. Character assassination. Catherine shrieked. I gave her a home. I could have let her go into foster care. Foster care might have been kinder. My voice stayed quiet. At least they wouldn't have stolen my future while calling it charity. Judge Coleman read through pages, his expression darkening. Mrs. Harrison, these bank records show large cash withdrawals coinciding with benefit deposits. Can you explain? Household expenses. To Las Vegas. He held up statements. Atlantic City, these casino charges. Deadly silence. Behind Catherine, my cousins stared at their mother with dawning horror. Megan, who'd always wondered why she got so many nice things. James, who'd asked once why I didn't eat dinner with them. Sarah, who'd tried to share her toys until Catherine told her I didn't deserve them. Your Honor, Elena continued, we'd also like to present evidence of educational fraud. Objection. Catherine's lawyer found his voice. Overruled. Elena handed over another folder. Mrs. Harrison claimed on multiple legal documents she was saving for Amelia's college education. Sworn affidavits. Federal aid applications. Yet when Amelia turned 18, the college fund was empty. The $50,000 that should have been there, gone. I had unexpected expenses, Catherine muttered. Like your bathroom renovation. I asked. The one plastered all over Facebook? Or Megan's Sweet 16 that cost $15,000? The party I wasn't allowed to attend because I wouldn't fit in? Miss Martinez, Judge Coleman said gently, I understand this is emotional. I'm sorry, Your Honor. But she's not just asking for money. She's asking me to pay for my own neglect. To finance my own abuse. To thank her for stealing my childhood and my future. Catherine's face went purple. Abuse? I never laid a hand on you. No. You just told me every day that I killed my mother by being born. That my father left because I was too much trouble. That I should be grateful you didn't dump me at the fire station. You locked me in my room when your friends visited because I was an embarrassment. You made me eat in the kitchen while your real family ate in the dining room. Enough. Catherine slammed the table. I want my money. I deserve compensation for taking in my sister's mistake. The word hung in the air like a noose. Mistake. Judge Coleman's voice went actic. You consider your niece a mistake. Catherine's lawyer whispered frantically in her ear. Too late. I meant. We all heard what you meant. The judge turned to me. Miss Martinez, anything else? I looked at Catherine. Really looked at her. She seemed smaller, stripped of the power she'd held over a grieving child. Just one thing. Aunt Catherine, remember what you told me the day I got the full scholarship to college? Silence. You told me I should give it up. That people like us don't go to university. That I should get a job and start paying you back. That's when I knew I had to leave. Had to become someone you couldn't tear down anymore. And did you? Judge Coleman asked. I graduated summa cum laude. Full ride to law school. Passed the bar first try. I straightened my shoulders. I became a victims' rights attorney. I helped children being financially exploited by their guardians. Turns out, there are a lot of Aunt Catherines in the world. The judge nodded slowly. I've heard enough. Mrs. Harrison, your claim is dismissed. I'm referring this case to social services for benefits fraud investigation. You received $280,000 to care for your niece, and by your own admission, you considered her a burden and mistake. You can't. Furthermore, I'm recommending criminal investigation for fraud, neglect, and fiduciary breach. You had a legal obligation to use those funds for Miss Martinez's benefit. Instead, you financed a lifestyle upgrade while subjecting her to emotional abuse. Catherine's lawyer pulled her toward the door. She turned back, tears of rage streaming. You destroyed our family. No, I said quietly. You did that when you chose money over a child who needed love. The courtroom emptied. My cousins filed past. Megan paused, mouth opening, then hurried after her mother. Only Sarah lingered, now 21 and lost. Amelia, she whispered. I didn't know. About the money, the treatment. I was young, but I remember things now. The different dinners. The locked door. I'm sorry. You were a child too. Not your fault. Elena gathered our papers while I sat in sudden quiet. We'd won, but victory tasted like ashes and old photographs. You okay? Elena asked. Know what's ironic? If she'd just loved me, even a little, I would have given her anything. I make good money now. Would have helped her, supported her in old age. All she had to do was be kind. Some people can't see past their greed. Outside, Catherine screamed at her lawyer about appeals, about injustice, about ungrateful children who don't understand sacrifice. But I was done listening. 8 years as her audience, watching her perform the martyred aunt while she picked my future from my pockets like a common thief. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, this is Megan. Can we talk? There are things you should know about where that money went. Things Mom doesn't know we know. I showed Elena. She raised an eyebrow. Could be interesting. Or painful. Most truth is both. That night, I met Megan, James, and Sarah at a downtown coffee shop. They looked like kids caught stealing cookies, except the jar they'd raided was full of secrets. We found papers, Megan said immediately. After you left for college. Mom was panicking, tearing apart her closet. We found bank statements, gambling debts, loans she'd taken out using your social security number. Identity theft. Of course. We confronted her, James added. She said it was for the family, that you owed us anyway. But we knew it wasn't right. We just didn't know what to do. You were kids. Not your responsibility. But we benefited, Sarah said quietly. My college tuition, their cars, family vacations you never got to go on. We benefited from your suffering. So what now? They exchanged glances. Megan pulled out a checkbook. We can't give back your childhood. But we can start somewhere. I don't want your money. It's not ours, James said firmly. It never was. We talked to a lawyer after today. We're going to testify if the criminal case goes forward. And we're going to make sure you get back what was stolen. Why? Why help me now? Sarah reached across the table, taking my hand. Because you're our cousin. Because what she did was wrong. Because family shouldn't be conditional on bank balances. And, Megan added quietly, because we remember the little girl who shared her single Christmas present with us, even though we had dozens. You deserved better than our mother gave you. Maybe it's too late to be the family you needed then, but it's not too late to be decent human beings now. I cried then. For the first time since Catherine had taken me in, I cried in front of my cousins. Not tears of pain or rage, but something cleaner. Something that tasted like possibility. The criminal case would take months. The investigation would be thorough. Catherine would likely face jail time for benefits fraud and identity theft. But sitting in that coffee shop with three people who chose truth over comfortable lies, I felt something I hadn't experienced in 18 years. Family. Not the kind that demands invoices for love, but the kind that shows up when truth gets ugly. The kind that chooses justice over blood. The kind that says we were wrong and means it. Catherine had presented her bill. $30,000 for a childhood of neglect dressed up as charity. The judge had counted with his own invoice, $280,000 stolen, plus interest, plus a criminal record, plus the loss of her children's respect. But the real cost? Written in a 10-year-old's diary, in missed school trips, in dinners eaten alone, in a college fund that evaporated like morning dew. You can't put a price on childhood. But Catherine had tried, and now she was learning what happens when the bill comes due. As we left the coffee shop, Sarah linked her arm through mine. So, cousin, tell us about this victims' rights work. How can we help? And for the first time in my life, that word, cousin, didn't sound like a reminder of what I wasn't. It sounded like a promise of what we could become.